What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Z-Man Show. Over the last few days, this tweet has been going around. The 30 FPS is unplayable narrative is one of the worst trends to ever happen in gaming. This asinine PC lames rhetoric has you passing on great game experiences, yet 95% of you can't tell the difference between 30 FPS and 60 FPS unless you're told beforehand. 30 FPS plays fine. So there's a few different points in that tweet that I wanted to take a look at. A bit that I do agree with, and another bit that I don't. Also, I don't know this person, I've never followed this person, I've just been seeing this tweet go around the internet and people talking about it. I'm not trying to put any hate on the person who made the tweet, I'm just looking at the points and counterpointing them. So number one, the 30 FPS is unplayable narrative is one of the worst trends to ever happen in gaming. I agree. Obviously, 60 FPS is becoming way more common in gaming. There were always 60 FPS console games going around, but it was mostly a big PC thing to get high frame rates in most games. I have seen people say that anything under 60 FPS or 30 FPS is just not worth playing. It's not a lot of people, it's not everybody, but it has been said. And that, I agree, is ridiculous. Tons of classic games play at 30 FPS, and we don't hold their frame rate against them. Obviously, this opinion is more based on current games, but I think that still applies. Like a big one would be Red Dead Redemption 2. You can get some really high frame rates if you're playing on a good enough rig, but as of right now, it's still locked at 30 FPS on consoles. As somebody who played it both on Xbox and on PC, they are both extremely playable. I will admit though, I'm definitely a big fan of high frame rates. If given the choice between 30 and 60, I'll take 60 every time. But if 30 is the only way to play, which with Red Dead was the case at launch, I'm totally fine with it. Yes, I think most of us would prefer 60 FPS, but it's nowhere near unplayable. So the beginning part of the tweet I pretty much agree with, but it's the next part that rustled my jimmies a bit. The tweet continues, yet 95% of you can't tell the difference between 30 FPS and 60 FPS unless you're told beforehand. I'm sure there are some people out there that can't tell the difference. I know some older people that can't tell the difference between 240p and a 4K image. It's insane, but it does happen. But 95%? Obviously, I think they're exaggerating a little bit, but still, that is a very high number of people that can't tell the difference between 30 frames per second and 60. But you know what's been great lately about Twitter? Community notes. The community notes say, a 2015 study suggests most people can discern higher frame rates when presented films at varying rates. That is with films, but frame rate, film or game, you're gonna notice a difference. So other than those studies, yes, it's a little anecdotal to say, oh, most of you can't even tell the difference between 30 and 60. Personally, I don't think that's true. I think most people would be able to tell the difference. But the author of the tweet says otherwise. They're entitled to their opinion, I just disagree. The 30 versus 60 FPS argument's been going on for a really long time, but I think it's getting a lot more prevalent now since even the consoles can easily reach 60 FPS in a lot of games. Not every game yet, but a lot of them. Again, in my personal opinion, I would love to have every game be at least 60 FPS, but that's never gonna stop me from playing anything underneath that FPS threshold. I actually really love when games have the option of a performance mode or a quality mode or something in between, just like Spider-Man. Myself, I'm fine with sacrificing a little resolution for a higher frame rate. I feel like the motion performance really outweighs any resolution upgrades I see. But again, that's just me. You might feel differently. A lot of other people might. Do you think 30 FPS is fine for games nowadays? Or do you think it's time for most games to step it up a little bit? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time on The Z-Man Show.